Hello there guys, welcome back to another short online tutorial. Today we're based in Adobe Illustrator and it's Jack from Blue Sky Graphics. What I'd like to do today guys is show you how to create this 3D typography effect simply using your 3D and materials tool within Adobe Illustrator. Okay, how do we do it? What I have on another tab is the original typography, and I haven't done anything to it. I've just lined it up and placed a few colors within inside this typography. Now, the first thing I would need to do is make sure everything is grouped. So with my selection tool, I'm just going to select everything like so, and I'm going to use the shortcut Command G on Mac or Control G on Windows to group. Fantastic. Now I need 3 copies of this typography, so I need to duplicate twice. So using my shortcut Option on Mac or Alt on Windows and clicking and dragging with my mouse, I'm simply just going to duplicate that typography. And with the same shortcut, I'm going to do that one more time. Fantastic. Okay. So we now need to start bringing the 3D visuals. Okay. So I'm going to select our first text group, and I'm going to come to Effect. And as you can see, we have 3D and Materials. The option I want to be using is Rotate. Fantastic. Okay. And what will happen is your 3D Materials window will appear. And the first thing I want to do is sort out the rotation. So I'm going to come to our preset options here, and I am now going to choose isometric left. Okay. So with my selection tool, I'm now going to select the middle text group, and I'm going to come to Effect, and I must apply rotate first of all. And then I'm going to come to our 3D materials option here, come to our presets, and this time what I'm going to use is isometric right. Okay, and then with the third text group, I'm going to follow the same process. I'm just going to select it like so. I'm going to come to Effect, apply rotate, and then with the preset options, what I'm going to use now is isometric top. Okay, so what we need to do now is line everything up because we're looking for that box-like shape. So with your selection tool, let's try and line everything up into a box-like shape, like so. Now, as you can see, we have a bit of an issue with this 3D on top. So I'm just going to remove that by simply double clicking the text here and removing the type like so. Okay, so what we need to do now is move this into place so we get our box-like shape. Wonderful. Okay, so as you can see now it's coming into shape, but what we need to do now is really start improving the 3D aesthetics. And what we can do is start affecting our depth. So with our first top group here, what I'm going to do is just select it. And what I'm going to do now is come to Extrude. And as you can see, we have a depth option here. Okay. Now the size I want to be going for is 50 pixels. Wonderful. Okay, so let's apply the same depth to the other 3D text groups. Come to Extrude. And let's apply 50 pixels depth. And we're going to do the same here, Extrude 50 px. Wonderful. Now we're just going to line everything up now, just a little bit better. What you may want to do is increase the size of the top one here by pressing a shortcut to resize from the center, which is Option on Mac and Alt on Windows. And always press Shift because you want to keep it nice and proportionate also as well. Okay. Now what we can do is we can improve the lighting. What I want to do is I want to improve the lighting on the left-hand side here. So I'm just going to select it, and we have our lighting option. And I'm just going to rotate that lighting option now, just so that I can get a more prominent looking text group. Okay, we're really getting there now, guys. And what I want to do is I just want to quickly apply a material to our text groups here because it just really improves the realism, okay? So I'm just going to set the top here. And one of the options we have is materials. I want to use our base material, our default, and I just want to increase the metallic side of things just a little bit like so, probably around 0.3 would be best. Let's do the same with the other options here. So select it, come to our materials, and just improve that to about 0.3 again. Wonderful. Let's do the same. Okay. So as you can see, guys, we're nearly there. And what I want to do is add a final finishing touch to our 3D text groups, okay? And that is rendering. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select our top option like so, and we have this icon here, okay? I'm just going to turn it on, make sure we have a high quality render, and I'm just going to click render here, like so. Now what this does, guys, this really brings up the realism within your elements, whatever you're creating, okay? So obviously we're applying this to typography, but anything that you implement with inside the 3D tool here, I would always look to render right at the end, okay? Now, as you can see, sometimes it takes a little bit of a while for it to render. Be conscious and just bear with it, okay? It's a very powerful thing you're doing, and I just want to make sure that you're aware that when you render, it may take a couple seconds, a couple minutes for it to complete. But as you can see, the options and the results are epic and really making that text look super realistic. So as we are now waiting for this to render, our final option, and there you go, guys. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to select everything, and if I start moving this around now, it'll always start to render, which I'm happy with the rendering. So I'm just going to expand it. I'm just going to come to object, and I'm going to expand the experience. Fantastic. I just want to group everything up now. So I'm going to use the shortcut Command G on Mac or Control G on Windows to group. And let's align this better within our artboard here. So I'm going to use our alignment tool at the top, but it's still selected. And let's align it vertically and horizontally. Fantastic. And what I want to do now is apply a nice little background color to this. So I'm going to use our rectangle tool here and create a nice rectangle over our artboard. I'd like to apply a gradient to it, so I'm going to do that with our gradient tool here. What I want to do is change it to a radial gradient. So I've got our radial gradient options up here, and let's just change this color to something more bluey, let's say. Okay, just maybe make that a little bit lighter. Fantastic. And then with that selected, I'm going to right click, arrange, center back. And as you can see, guys, that is how you create that 3D typography effect within Adobe Illustrator. If you're interested in finding out more about Blue Sky Graphics, please take a look at our website at blueskygraphics.co.uk. Also, as well, there are tutorials coming out on a weekly basis, and make sure you check them out, guys. Some really cool information on there and some really cool effects. And yeah, also take a look at our social media. We have some really cool stuff on there by our really talented students at Blue Sky Graphics UK. Thank you very much, guys. Take care, and I'll see you next time.